welcome back everybody to more Lord of the Rings Online. In the last episode we made it here to Stangard, one of the settlements of Rohan, and the whole town is in a lot of disarray, so I'm going to be spending a majority of this episode probably helping out some of the good folk around here. It's enough of an introduction, let's get started.
What brings you to these lands?
You have been sent to give out daily rations, have you? Help yourself, and mind you not to take too much. That store is meant to last us a month. Alright, so I'm assuming I have to go in here. Alright, so this is the lock house, and looks like there's some food here. I need to gather some food. I love this town. I like that they really incorporated buildings into it. You know, usually in a lot of games, especially even in Lord of the Rings Online up until now, the towns are mostly having things happen on the outside of it. You can't really go into a lot of the buildings. You can go into like the auction house and the vault and things like that, but a lot of the buildings are just there for external decoration. But here in Stangard, you can walk into mostly pretty much any building. And even if they don't have much stuff there, it's just cool to go in and be able to see that it was developed. So I do enjoy that. And I don't know if they implement that much later on in other areas, because like I've said multiple times already, this is getting close to the point in the game where I've made it to, and I haven't really played much beyond that. And again, the last I played was Helm's Deep. That's as far as I've ever gotten in this game. Beast at the door, okay.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
It has been months since anyone has been posted on any of the other watchtowers, Kippen. Men go out and hunt and gather to bolster our stores, and too many die on the way because they do not know what faces them. It would be a great help to us if you could just climb the watchtowers and look at what roams Earl's Mead and the Wailing Hills. Alright, I will. So, I'm assuming I have to climb some of these watchtowers here. Doesn't look like I can actually go up these, so I'm assuming maybe that right here. This is a good vantage point, so let me look around. You see nothing worthy from this vantage point. Okay. How do I get down from here? Right there, the trapdoor. Maybe that one right there, too. It's another good vantage point. In the Wailing Hills, you see orcs and more orcs roaming the lands as if it were their own. I didn't get credit for that. Only got one out of the 3, even though I looked in 2, so I'm a little bit confused about that, but hopefully it'll be alright.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
You are headed west of Stangard? Well, let me give you a piece of advice, friend. Stay clear of the Limelight Gorge if you know it's good for you. I have heard tell of orcs and the like raising trouble in the Wailing Hills, but I assure you they are not half as dangerous as the monstrosities wandering down in the gorges these days. If you do head out that way, just make sure to check in with Captain Agilbert. You should at least know what you are getting into. So that's going to be a vector quest, it seems like. Which I'm not really ready for just yet, because I still have so much work to do around here. So that's the one I've already gone up. Let me maybe go to that corner and see about that other watchtower. One of my objectives is to feed the horses, but... So maybe at the stables. Feed horses. Not here. You would expect to be able to feed them at the stables, right? Or am I just going crazy? Where's the watchtower that I saw? It's back there. Let's see what I can do here. Too near Stangard, you see a den of vile, slavering dogs preying upon the lands. So I'm still confused as to why I didn't get credit for that other tower, but I don't know, I might have to go back to it. If I can't find another one to climb up. I don't really see any other towers. Maybe this one? There we go. Far in the distance, you note rocky channels swarming with vile worms. Let me see what my map is showing here. Let me go up to the main area, maybe? I don't know. Need to feed horses. I need to find out about some stolen rations. Let me just... Well, I can't really talk to anybody here. What's really throwing me off is the quest rings outside every building. I don't know if I actually need to go in them for one of the quests or not. Well, let me come up here, I guess. See what I can do. Here are some horses that I can feed. Horse is still hungry. They all still seem hungry. Who is the real leader here?
Our mission is dire.
Stangard has always been kind to me, though I do not care for the arguments of my betters. I only ask to be allowed to do my work and have a good meal and warm bed at the end of each day. Also, nothing anyone does seems to answer my wishes. What do you do in Stangard?
What brings you to these lands?
I am the horsekeeper of Stangard. I was a farmer before coming here, but I have not been given leave to plant any crops in Earlsmead, and so we go hungry day after day. So it's kind of interesting talking to the different people here and see who they believe is in charge and what they do and all that.
Will you aid the horse lords?
Oh, thank you, stranger. I was hoping that since a new person was delivering these, perhaps there would be a bit more, but I am grateful nonetheless. Tatooine looks sadly at the meager rations you hand to him. Okay. Am I stuck in combat music? When I never really entered combat? Almost seems like it, unfortunately. You know what? I'm gonna go in a house just to reset the music. The dogs here are surprisingly well tended compared to the rest of Stangard. Oh, see, there's stuff here. Stolen rations. How lucky is that? I was just saying that it's crazy that every building had a quest ring in it, and I didn't know if I needed to go in there or not for a quest, but apparently I did have to come in the kennels. So I recovered the stolen rations. And surprisingly, the dogs were well kept, so that means that maybe somebody was stealing the food for the dogs, actually. Who is the real leader here?
Our mission is dire.
It is no matter who I call leader, no matter who shouts the orders, there are never enough food supplies to make any good of this rotten place. What are you doing, Stangard?
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
I do too much for too little, as a general rule. Now leave me be. I have better get back to my work, or else I won't get any rations today.
What brings you to these lands?
Thank you for... Oh, well, there's not much there, is there? Well, thank you just the same. It is just that. I think that this is less than we got before Sithric came to make things better here for us. Athlof notes sadly that there are fewer rations than ever before. So now let's confront him about the stolen food.
What brings you to these lands?
Athlof looks shocked as you show him the rations he recovered from his home. I am discovered! Are you going to turn me in, Kippen? That is just. But I wish to tell you why I did it and ask for your help if I am thrown in the lockhouse. I do not steal the dog. If I do not steal, the dogs will starve. As their keeper, I cannot let that happen. I give them my own food, but it is not enough. I try to make sure I do not take too much from the other men when I steal, but I fear we will all go hungry. Tell Bernstein I'm sorry, will you? Athelf is guilty of stealing, but his deeds are honorable. Okay. Let me see if I can feed a few of the other men as well. This guy's working hard, chopping some wood here. He deserves a meal. Who's the real leader here?
Have you with the Rohirrim?
Why do you ask, stranger? Sithric is the one with the power here, and you had best keep that in mind. Stanric is on his way out. Mark my words. What do you do?
Will you aid the Horse Lords?
Why are so many of us assigned to guarding and none of us to doing work?
Our mission is dire.
Does Stanric really think his men will follow him if this is all he feeds us? I grow hungrier every day, Kippen. We will not take much longer. Wada is unhappy with his quantity of food. Everybody in this town seems so depressed. Let me take this off the tracker for right now. Few quest rings here.
Our mission is dire.
You must be jesting, Kippen. You did watch duty? No one has done watch duty since Sithric came here. Please tell me what you saw from the towers. Gada listens gravely as you tell him what you saw from your high vantage point. Orcs to the west, worms and the wicked beasts to our east, and a haunted wood to the north. Things have worsened for us since the patrols lessened. Now there is no hope for us getting food from Earlsmead without losing many men to the predators that roam the riverlands.
What brings you to these lands?
It was Athelf. You explained that Athelf was using the food to feed the dogs of Stangard, who would starve without his help. I have noticed that he does show particular kindness to those dogs. There was once a time when we had food enough for all, sparse though it was, but nobody thinks of the dogs anymore. I'll keep this incident a secret, and even share some of my food with the beasts, provided Athelf does not steal anymore. Bernstein grudgingly forgives Athelf and agrees to keep the incident a secret.
Our mission is dire.
Is this all? Curse Stanric for dooming us to starvation. Bernstein is displeased with the amount of food you gave him.
Our mission is dire.
It is not good that there is stealing in Stangard. This was rarely a problem before. If Bernstein does not wish to take further action against Athelf, I will gladly let this matter drop. The food issue is reaching the point of crisis. Something must be done, and soon.
What brings you to these lands?
You brought the men their rations, did you? And the horses as well, I see. It is terrible that there's not enough food to go around. We have always had to tighten our belts at Stangard, but things have only become worse since Sithric came and involved himself in every aspect of rule here.
Our mission is dire.
Yes, the men of Stangard carry many burdens. There was hope that Sithric would make things better here, but life is harder now. Men are hungrier, and many leave and do not return. Those who stay carry more weight than ever.
Our success depends upon our strength.
I think it is time we brought these issues to Stanric himself. Come, let us seek an audience with him. Perhaps we will catch him away from Sithric for once. Perhaps we can make some headway at last. The situation in Stangard is growing too dire.
After seeing the many hardships faced by the men of Stangard, J.R.R. has decided to make an appeal to the leaders of the settlement. What business have you with the Rohirrim?
Come, Kippen, perhaps hearing of our unnecessary hardships from a stranger will make them realize that something must be done. Stanric will listen what you have to say. Sithric, on the other hand, well, we shall see. Things were not always this bad here. We have few men, it is true, but it used to be that we could get things done. Stanric, will you hear our appeal, sir? Stangard is beset with many hardships. Of course, J.R.R., you have my ear, Kippen.
Will you aid the horse lords?
Stanric listens calmly as you share your impressions of the stagnant, malnourished state of things in Stangard. Yes, Kippen, everything you say is true. Perhaps there is something that can be done. Let us all speak our minds. Stangard's situation has grown dire. Our guest has seen many of the hardships firsthand. The men are so hungry that they cannot perform their duties. They are overworked. Our lands, once so carefully patrolled, have now been allowed to grow perilous. It is true, our hunting parties oft do not return and our food stores dwindle alarmingly. Life was always a struggle here, but never so dire as now. As now? Say what you really mean, J.R.R. Do not mince your words for my benefit. So he looks a little shady, quite honestly. I wonder if it's because he's bald. I don't know. He just looks shady. See, that guy looks much more trustworthy.
Our mission is dire.
Nay, do not interrupt, Kippen. I am waiting for J.R.R. to finish his thought. You were saying, J.R.R., things are worse now? Since what? What has changed, in your view of things? Go on, J.R.R. Tell us what is on your mind. I will say it since you will hear it. Things have grown far worse since your arrival, Sithric. The king appointed you, but you only thwart all of our efforts to improve things here. J.R.R., please do not say these things. As you said, Sithric is here by decree of Theoden King. Correct. I am here because Stangard failed the king. You shall answer to me. I am here to see that things are run properly. If you resist my decisions, then you resist the will of the king, and you will do well to remember that, J.R.R. J.R.R, your words are noted. Please go back to your post now. But J.R.R, you will do as I say. Back to your watch post now.
Will you aid the horse lords?
It is well that Sithric sent that fool back to his post. Or Stanric, sorry. Any more insolence, and I would have had seen to it that he was imprisoned for his treasonous words. Keep out of this, Warden. You are not of the Rohirrim, and Stangard's affairs are none of your concern. Stanric has warned you to keep out of Stangard's affairs. Or Sithric. My god, I keep messing up their names. Sorry about that. So he's going all the way upstairs. Sithric. Sithric is out of earshot. You should speak with Stanric again. So this is kind of tying into Lord of the Rings lore, because as you know, Theoden King, at least at this point in the events, is basically mind poisoned by Saruman. And so it's implied here that Theoden did a bad thing under the Council of Grima Wormtongue to send out Sithric to this Rohan settlement.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
Our hands are tied here, Kippen. The king is not the man he once was. To defy him, even for good reason, would not end well for me or my men. But I do have an idea. You are not truly bound by our laws. If you can think of anything you could do to help us, you must have my blessing, and you do. That is all I will say on this matter. Sithric cannot imprison you, a guest, for any of your deeds in Earlsmead as long as no crime is committed. That is all I can say for now. I thank you for your interest in our hardships, Kippen. Your concern is deeply felt. So, very interesting. So, Stanric, basically, his hands are tied, but he's saying you have the free reins to go out and try and fix this. So, obviously, a lot of trust in us.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
How frustrating. If Sithric represents the king's wishes, I have no desire to be a subject of Theoden any longer. Our king was once a great man, but now... Gotta gives a quick glance around him and then lowers his voice. I must be careful. What I say from now on, I think. Sithric's men are everywhere.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
It is good that Stanric has given you leave to do as you will. If only I had that liberty. Ah well, Sabert and Tatwine are good men, and better yet, are not loyal to Sithric. They will accept your help more readily than the others if you wish to lend aid. Alright. So, that being said, let me go pick up some more quests.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
As you have seen, my horses are hungry, Kippen. I am the keeper of the stables, but I do not have leave to take them out to graze. It would be too dangerous. Would you be willing to bring back some heaps of grass for them? Your help would be much appreciated. I will not tell Sithric. It can be our secret. Let's see if I can pick up another quest here. None here.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
You have been given some leave to help ease my troubles, have you? I have just a thing for you. I cannot leave my post as the gate watcher, but I long to be cleaning the fields of the fanged menace that roams ever nearer to our doors. Those evil hounds grow bold. They do not fear us as they should. It will be a good task for you, Kippen. Alright. Let me just double check there's no other little quest rings here. Again, there are some for every building, but I don't really see the need to go into all of them right now. So let me step outside the bounds of the town and... Well, there's a quest ring here, and I wonder what that is. Whispered permission. Well, the quest rings are from me already having talked to them, so... So I need to collect some grass and... kill some hounds. I need 12 grasses. That's a lot of them. Still have not seen any hounds. There's one. Let me ambush this guy. Ambushing from like a foot away. I got all the grass I need, but these hounds are not counting. So let me head a little bit further southeast. I guess they want me to kill them in this pit. The fetid caves. How gross. Still need 5 more of these, 4 more. See a quest ring down there too. You know what? Let me just head towards that quest ring. What's with all these quest rings? I'm a little confused. Got all these quest rings on my minimap, but not sure what they're pointing to. Hound corpse. Ah, that's so interesting that they mark these with a quest ring now. Because if you remember, anytime I miss a quest, it's like a object you have to interact with. But anyways, this hound appears to have been attacked by its own kind, a particularly vicious pair of hounds that have taken up residence nearby. Any creature that could menace its own kind so brutally must be a great threat to the men of Stangard. Just gonna grab the backpack, why not? So I defeated all the hounds, but I do want to kill the 2 named creatures. They should be around here somewhere. Let me get on my pony. Well, actually, what is the... Oh, it's just a backpack. Alright. Thought maybe I had to interact with something to call out the beasts, but I guess that's not the case. Not really finding them. Looks like maybe they're a little further south. There's one. Dead gaze. And there's the other one. Ripjaw. Okay, very good. Let me return to town and turn in these quests. Good times. Oh man, so happy to be playing LOTRO. I'm gonna be going hard and recording a lot of episodes over the next several days.
What brings you to these lands?
Wonderfully done, my friend. That was a kind of deed you did for us. That was a kind deed you did for us. I hope that they do not interfere with you as they do with the rest of us.
Will you aid the Horse Lords?
I knew those hounds were vile creatures. I cannot believe that any animal would resort to devouring its own kind. It is a disgusting thought. I'm glad you slew them, Kippen. I shudder to think of such beasts so near our walls. So let me feed some of that grass to the horses.
Our mission is dire.
Thank you, Kippen. That was a very good deed. I do not like to see these great creatures go hungry. Alright, so now that I've helped them both, I guess I can go back to the main area.
Will you aid the Horse Lords?
You are an admirable hobbit, Kippen. I wish Sithric had seen the wisdom to see what good could be done here if only he stepped out of the way. And looks like I'm ready to reforge.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
A shortage of meat is a problem of late. As you have surely noticed, our rations are small and sparse, and Sithric insists that no men can be spared save the ones that went north to Thinglad. Wild goats roam the plains of Earlsmead in plenty, and I do not see why none of us are given leave to hunt them. Perhaps you could do this deed while you venture out to do other tasks for my folk, could you not? Alright, so lots of tasks still left to do here for the people of Stangard, and I will continue doing that in the next episode. So see you then.